Let's talk about how awesome the M1 Pro and the M1 Max MacBook Pros are. Wow, that's a mouthful. The M1 Max. I'm Rafael and welcome to the channel. With the October event all said and done, we now have new M1 MacBook Pros. 2 sizes and 2 new chips. And whoo boy, it's everything that we hoped for. Well, maybe not the notch, but it's pretty good. A quick recap of the specs. The M1 Pro has up to a 10-core CPU with 8 performance cores and 2 efficiency cores, with up to a 16-core GPU and up to 32 gigabytes of unified RAM. And when they announced this, I felt, yep, it's better than the M1, and pretty much what everyone expected. Then Apple immediately announced the M1 Max. Nearly the same CPU with 10 cores, 8 performance and 2 efficiency, but the GPU and the unified RAM both doubled. Let's go! Finally! This is exactly what I hoped for and wanted when the M1s were announced a year ago. So I'm glad that Apple is finally pushing it to where it needs to be on a pro level. That's up to 30 streams of 4K ProRes 422 and up to 7 streams of 8K ProRes 422. Creators can now do advanced editing, color grading, and delivery in HDR if they wanted to on a laptop. All these video specs sound crazy. Like, come on. I personally can't wait to get my hands on this machine to literally play with it. I use Pro apps daily, so I am really looking forward to it. Add in the new XDR display, refined keyboard with no touch bar. It has more Thunderbolt ports, it has an HDMI port, and an SD card reader. And the Apple Retro Thick Boy look.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick ass boy!
And add silent fans to the mix, and we have ourselves a winner. Let's talk about that notch. I don't even care. With these specs, it could have came with a handle on the side and I'd still be all for it. Honestly, I was hoping for a Mac Mini to be announced, but I will definitely take the 16 MacBook Max with 64 gigs of unified RAM and a 2 terabyte SSD, notch and all. Since 2017, I have been rocking a 15-inch i7 MacBook Pro, and this new machine will scream comparatively for all the video work that I do, especially on set. Many times in the past, I took my Mac Pro onto set to keep up with the demand of high-end video. And I feel that this MacBook Pro will easily chew through this workflow with no problems. And for me, it'll be a nice tie over until the M series Mac Pros are released next year. Hopefully. So who is this MacBook Pro for? Well, for me and anyone that's in a similar position that does video work every day, and not just for YouTube, but for client work, on set, traveling, different formats, different locations, where you will need to throw anything at this machine and it will work. It's still to be seen how well it will perform in most cases, but I do believe that Apple took many notes from the M1 user experience and packed in the performance that guys like me kept asking for. So I do believe that Apple has delivered, and it's now up to you and me to push this Pro to the max. The prices start at $2,000 US for the 14-inch and $2,500 for the 16-inch. And it can go all the way up to about $6,000 when it's all maxed out. The one that interests me the most is the 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, clocking in at around $4,300 US. And considering that my previous MacBook Pro was roughly the same price, it is a good upgrade price for the performance. Especially if you are in the business of making money with your computer, this is actually a small investment. Video professionals can make that back in a month, so it's best to buy up when it can make you money. The faster you can get something done, the more you can make in the long run. However, if you are using it for your day-to-day activities and not your business, then definitely buy accordingly. But I know what I'm getting. This makes me ask, what will Apple do for the Mac Pros? Will it be the Max Mac Pro? Or the Pro Mac Pros? Or the M1 Pro Max Mac Pros? I don't know. Thus far, Apple is delivering, and the future excites me if this is what Apple is able to do for mobile devices. And what about that Final Cut Pro tease that they did? Object tracker and cinematic mode? Once I get my hands on it, I'll definitely do a deep dive with it. But for now, remember, give this video a thumb bump. Also, I live stream on my second channel where I deep dive on the creative process as well as freelance financials. So make sure you check that out. As always, fix it in camera and then finesse it in post. Thanks for watching.